Hi, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Michael Yon. This episode of Kuntarkis is on healing. So, here's Kuntarkis.
When you work in the light, no matter what, and you put yourself into a state, and that's what we're going to talk about, I think, in a minute, but you put yourself into a state of healing with the light. You heal yourself first. You heal the negativity that you have grown up with or from previous lives, and you burn it into a nothingness, and you replace it with light. Your cellular structure is living consciousness, and it will do all your bidding if you come from the heart. But if you don't, it will not do your bidding. In fact, it will put you into a state where it will disconnect, and you will grow old faster, and you will end up eating really bad food, having disgusting habits, which will kill your body very quickly. And then once your body dies, the living energy is free. And what is left is like a silhouette form that goes into the spirit world or the lower astrals, and people then claim to see ghosts. And ghosts are just a very small particle of energy of that original self.
Particle. It's the spirit. It's not the spirit itself. It's the magnetic leftover kind of.
That's right. And the spirit, that will enter in also into the lower parts of the astral or into the spirit world at lower ends, and learn to let go and change so we can then incarnate and have a more positive life. And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
Yeah, well, how about maybe now you would like to share with us this healing factor you're going to share?
Well, this is on the same line of what we're just sort of talking about. And you and I have discussed this on a few occasions, but not so much in depth. I've had people ask me, how far can you send healing energies? I says to infinity. And people have found that really hard to believe. They said they can't even send energy into the next bedroom. And I said, that's because you believe it. This is the point. My little son at the moment, who's not quite 5 yet, I said, of course you can pick that up, mate. He'll say to me, I can't. No, I can't. I said, if you keep saying you can't do that, son, now when you're so young, as you grow, you will believe that. It'll become your belief and your conditioning. And he just looks at me naturally because he doesn't fully understand what I'm saying. And that's the same with healing. Healing has to be believed. And when you believe, you will automatically change what you put into your body. You will learn to purify the essence of not just your physical self, but your spiritual self. And even your cellular structure, because it gets affected by what you consume, because the blood flows right throughout your human body, even into your actual nervous system. So it affects everything. When you change your body, you change the actual level of your energies. You raise your energies into slightly higher vibrations through self-awareness. And the more you become aware and the more you work from the heart, you can send your healing to anywhere in Australia. In fact, anywhere on the planet, just by thought projection from the heart. And the interesting factor about healing, you don't even have to tell the person that that's what you're doing. As long as it comes from the heart and it's a positive thing. All you do is think it, do whatever you want to do in saying what words you want to say, and project it. And say, I now release this energy of healing, this divine love, this pure light, to whoever. You name the person and you just see it being sent either from your heart or your hands or from your third eye, which is in the center of your brow. Once you send it, you can just raise your hand and click your fingers and it's already there. Because there's no such thing as distance when it comes to projecting energy. Because all of energy is interconnected. It's like, I think I've said this once before, it's like there was two islands, and on one island there were these monkeys, these chimps, and they learned how to open a coconut by using either a stone or a thick branch, and they would belt it in certain spots until it cracked open, even fruit. What's even stranger, they were doing that for years. Now on the other island, on the right, they weren't. But suddenly, for some unknown reason, they started doing it. That is called thought projection by travel. And when they were thinking on the left, that energy was traveling already to that energy, which were the chimps on that other island. And it's the same with healing. You can send it anywhere over this planet, or you can send it to another world. Say if you're connected to another world, I could send energy to the Hemazines, which are the vampires that we spoke about in one of the episodes. And I can pick a particular being or a group of them, and I can send that energy. Never have to say a word that I've done that. I do healings on a lot of people. Even on you, I do healings, but I don't tell you. Right? I help you along. I get this instant thought that I need to send Michael a healing energy, and I do it. I'll get that thought about other people, and I'll do it. I'll walk into a shopping centre and I'll see a person sitting down, and their energies tell me that they are really not well, or they're feeling so miserable. And I will just, through my mind, project an energy ball to them and walk past them. Never saying a word. Naturally, you don't do that. Now, sending energy out to the universe, you can go to the end of the universe that doesn't exist, and it will still get there. Because remember, magnetic energy is almighty present in every atom in the entire universe. So when you send a thought, it's like you speaking on a telephone to America, traveling on those, what are they called, those cables? They're not actually wire anymore. They're
fiber optic.
Fiber optic. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to say, it is like a telephone line to another person, but I just because it is simple. If you do have the idea in your mind of who you're intending to send it to, that's it. That's the connection, right?
That's the connection. You don't need the outcome to expectations. You just do it and let it go. And let go of all expectations. Because if you have expectations, pretty well 100%, it will not work out that way. Because you weren't committed at the beginning. Because you were doing, but you weren't being, but you were having expectations on the outcome. And that's something you don't do in healing. So energy is everything, and everything is energy. Now, somebody says to me, what's the difference between living energy and magnetic energy? Nothing. All of living energy can be manifested into human reality by becoming an atom. And even an atom, you can't see it physically. Isn't that correct?
Yep, of course.
That's right. But it is more solid in substance than living energy, which is pure energy. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I follow that. There's a big difference. Yeah, on a small level for us, it's still a big difference. But it's this magnetic energy, this living energy from which everything comes from. And it's like living consciousness as well. Like there's consciousness in all of this.
That's right. Let me give a very a brief little exercise. It's so basic, and yet it proves 100% beyond all doubt that we are far more than just this flesh. If we slap our hands together, we feel solid. Isn't that true?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But if we put our thought consciousness by closing our hands together, opened, and then rub them for 30 seconds, back and forth, right? You don't have to go like a maniac, but just rub them back and forth like that. Okay, let's just say we've done 30 seconds. Okay, now stop and just clasp your hands still together and open them in the center a little bit, but still have your fingertips touching. Then very gently put your thought consciousness in between the gap and believe that there is something that feels like a sponge that you can press in and out. Just think of your heart and your thought consciousness concentrating in that little opening between your hands. Then very gently open up your hands to about, say, 5 centimeters. Now look at the gap that you've got, 5 centimeters between the palms of your hands. Visualize a sponge. And that sponge is living energy. Now very gently press them lightly in about 2 to 3 centimeters, but do not touch. Back and forth very slowly. And as you press in and out, you feel as if there is something drawing on your hands, like their hands are stuck, yet you're still pulling them slightly apart. And what you'll feel in between is this pull back and forth. In, and as it comes out, it's more stronger. And it wants to stop your hands from going any further. Now that's becoming sensitive to the essence of what you truly are, living energy. The original source that literally made every universe that exists in this moment. And there are hundreds and hundreds of billions of them.
Kuntarkis, I think I'm seeing living energy right now.
Very, very possible. Very possible.
Yeah, I'm seeing it's like tiny little white dust particles between my hands.
That is living energy. And it's very common to see that. But people who aren't in tune to some awareness will find it more difficult. If I sit on a veranda and it's a clear day and I just close my eyes and I meditate for a few minutes and I think about living energy by communicating to it consciously. Then I open my eyes very gently and I have no expectations. I see in front of me billions of fine little particles, all different shapes. That is living energy, pure living energy, that all things are created into the physical world. And the only difference, everything vibrates at a different frequency. That's all it is. A rock to flesh. It's just a different frequency. A metal car to, say, a timber table. It's still all alive in that perfect form that man's created, but it's still living energy. If we could go beyond the beliefs and the conditioning of what we believe solid matter truly is, we would see that table just bend over like it was melting. Do you remember the guy, the painter, I can't remember his name, But he painted this clock.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. But the clock is like drooping down on one side, yeah.
What he was saying is what he saw
Oh.
in his imagination. It's actually what he saw, but he didn't know what he was seeing, but he painted it. And he was saying that he was so in tune with his creativeness that the clock that he was painting literally began to bend and melt. And that actually is a real thing. We can put ourselves into a state where we can see everything around us changing and vibrating all the time. But we are not aware of it because we're not taught that the illusion of what we truly are is our physical selves. And do you remember when I did that description of all the bodies that are behind the human self in energy? It's like a train going up a hill. If we look at the face of the body in the front, and behind it is all these different bodies, like your emotional body, your etheric and all that. And it's a trail of energy. And that energy connects directly to your soul, from your mind to your soul. And that's what a human being is. I mean, a human being is worth a lot of money. But we as scientists now, they prove that a human being at one time was worth about $1.76.
How does that relate to this energetic stuff you're saying? Are you just saying in general?
Yeah, it's in general. It's proving if we become more aware, we start to see the illusion of what we have created as a society, as humans. 157,000 violent, bloody wars killed nearly 19 billion people. We start to see the illusion of our emotions, how our actions have created such negative reactions. And this is what we're trying to fix. Do you know that? Humanity, in its own understanding, is trying to fix its past. And until we do that, it's just going to be the same repeated system, just different circumstances where it comes to technology.
Yeah.
But living energy is basically magnetic energy.
While we're talking living energy, magnetic energy, I'll bet you've done this. I want to ask you: have you ever rubbed your hands together and then spread your hands, and you've got that push pull as you do it? Have you then sent so much of your own? Have you manifested so much energy in between your hands that you could really feel it even really harder to push or pull?
Yes.
I'm sure you've done that. Yeah. So you've put so much in there consciously that, because obviously if you do that, if you practice doing that, then you're literally experiencing yourself manifesting energy, because you're manifesting it and then you're feeling it with your hands, because it's even tougher to push in or to pull away. That's
right. That's why Tai Chi is a really good thing. I did an exercise with a class many, many years ago down in Tamworth in New South Wales, when I lived down there for about 3.5 years. And I wanted to prove to them that we're literally living energy, because they didn't believe that we were energy, because they said everything felt so physical. So what I did these exercises really, really hard, then soft, and then hard again, through my thought consciousness of projection. And out of the blue, this lady, she was about 40 at the time. I was actually younger than her, but she came along to learn Kung Fu. And she suddenly said, put her hands on her face, because I could see as I was doing it, try not to lose my own concentration. And she just said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I've never seen that before. Look at all the red sparks and the moving lines that Roman is projecting in his Tai Chi. And suddenly another young guy, he was only 17, his name was John, and he looked, he said, oh wow. He said, wow, it's real. That's not That's not phony. That's real. And he was seeing it all around my head and my hands. And he said he believes what he saw was the head of a dragon that was coming out of my hands. And you know what was really interesting, Michael?
What?
Wow, I said. I was really proud of him because I was thinking about a dragon.
Wow.
Creating a dragon through my energies. I didn't do it because I wanted someone to see that, but that young boy, he saw it.
Wow.
Coming out of my right hand, projecting right out and then coming back into my hand and coming out again. And that was red. An energy flow that had a light amount of goldish lines in it, the lady said.
And these are to people that don't normally see auras.
Absolutely not. They didn't believe in things like that. They wanted to learn Kung Fu for self-defense and betterment of themselves, but they didn't actually believe that there was any such thing as like energy or living energy. Yeah.
Gee, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. And it changed the lady's life. I taught her how to heal and to use for healing, and she became a healer in Tamworth.
Wow.
It literally sparked off her living energy within her being, her inspiration, her imagination. And this young guy, he ended up becoming a teacher later on in life, I heard. When he was about 38, he became actually a master in teaching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, everything can spark off something in your life, and you could believe that you could never be anything because of the conditioning of your parents and their parents. And it's not their fault because they've been conditioned, but they never had the opportunity to understand it. Those genetics that come from your parents can change your life dramatically, negatively, or positively, depending on their experiences. If we learn to understand that, we can literally change our destiny. Because our destiny, Michael, is not to be our mother or our father. Our destiny is to become aware of who you are and what you are, so you can then inspire others. So humanity grows consciously, not grows in the illusion of the ego, because that's what's happening. Many teachers out there, it's teaching all about the illusion of the ego. You know, the more you look younger, feeler, the more you'll possess, and it's just ridiculous because there is no growth in that. But it's when you become aware, self-aware, you start to grow in thought consciousness. And what you pass on to your children is a positive thing, not a negative thing.
Hey, just going back, I just wanted to make sure that we completely covered that healing aspect. Can you just explain again how it is quite simple, I believe you shared with me, but literally sending, how simple is it? What do you do to simply manifest and send healing energy? How simple is it?
Okay. Words are very powerful, as we stated before, and it's in the word is in the sending. If you say sit or lay down, so you're not allowing your body to function really in any way, which will distract you, especially if you feel uncomfortable. So the best thing to do is either lay back on a lounge or lay on the floor or on a bed that's making you feel really comfortable and relaxed. Then put both your hands across your chest over your heart and visualize a ball of light. You can do this in about 2 minutes. Visualize this ball of light all around your heart center and say these words. I am the essence of living energy. Living energy is magnetic and it can be sent wherever I choose it to go. In this moment, I fill my entire heart, my entire being with this living energy of healing. And I now project it to whoever, whether it's, John Sanders. You might have a friend.
And it's whatever you visualize, right? This living energy that you're visualizing as healing energy, it's up to you, isn't it? However you want to visualize it. It's like you can't really go wrong if your intention's right.
Absolutely not. That's right. The other thing too is, Michael, every single human on this planet is a healer. All they need is a few simple techniques and by believing. But if you also say the magic words, it's like what I've said a few times, through my thought consciousness, as you got your hands over your heart, through my thought consciousness connected to my mind, through my imagination, and by truly believing beyond all doubt that I am connected directly in this moment and every moment after it to living energy. I call upon this living energy I send this healing to John Sanders, and I send it directly to his heart. And all you do then is project it from your heart and just see it go to him. Now, if you want to, and you know this person well, you can visualize them in front of you and just say, John, this is for you from my heart, and send it to him. And once you know it gets there, then say, thank you, living energy. Thank you. That's it. That's how fast it is. Right? Now, if you want to do a healing on yourself, it's basically the same thing. And the best thing to do is do it often on yourself, like, twice a day or at least once a day, every day, to get familiar with how this energy works and also to learn how to communicate with it. And all you do again is put your hands over your heart. One of the most important factors is do not send it to a specific part of the human body, because you're admitting that you believe in disease. Okay? It doesn't matter what other people do. It's irrelevant. That's their way. But if you really want to heal your being, don't recognize constantly that you have stomach cancer or bowel cancer or liver cancer or heart disease. Just literally put your hands over your heart and say, I am the living essence of living energy. My whole being is living energy. I am perfectly healthy right here, right now. And I draw in this energy into my heart and I allow it to permeate throughout my entire existence right now in this very moment. Thank you. That's all you do. And if you say that often enough and do it often enough, it will work 100%.
Brilliant. That was really good, easy to follow and well said. Yeah. Brilliant. This concludes another episode of Kuntarkis. If you'd like to connect with us, maybe you have a comment, a question, or a suggestion, or if you'd like to connect with Kuntarkis for a private consultation, which I highly recommend, simply email kuntarkis@gmail.com. Also, you can go to his website, etcconsciousness.com, where you can find out more about him and his books. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Michael Yon. Stay tuned for more.